After 13 forecast first, sponsored by Conway Medical Center.
Good morning and thanks for tuning in. A cold front moved through the area yesterday. That was the source for all the moisture and thunderstorms we had. But now that that's gone, passed through the area, look at all the dry, cooler weather that is behind this front. It's going to be in control for the next couple of days. We have been rain free for the last 3 hours. Not expected to be the case for the rest of the day today. And temperature wise, still not quite in the 70s. Only going to see that in Myrtle Beach. Elsewhere, upper 60s to near 70 degrees, but still a little bit cooler in Marion, reading 64 degrees there. It's going to be the best weekend possible for any form of outdoor activities, whether that be golfing, hiking, biking, fishing. By noontime, both the beaches and inland are going to be in the low 80s.
Right now on News 13.
Welcome back at 7:43. You're taking a live look out over Little River. Mix of sun and clouds, but all in all, it's a very nice start to the morning. Abundant sunshine is going to be your main headline for today. And over the last 3 hours, haven't seen a drop of rain throughout the viewing area. Luckily, that's going to last for the next 48 hours or so. And then more changes are going to be coming by Monday morning. We'll get to all those details coming up in just a bit. But just note your main headlines for the next 48 hours is going to be a ton of sunshine and lower dew points, meaning less humidity, making this an absolutely gorgeous weekend to definitely do some outdoor activities, biking, hiking, fishing, anything you can think of, because it's just going to be ideal conditions. And temperatures will be below normal, and that's also going to be a trend that'll last into the work week as well. Diving into your futurecast now for this morning, winds still going to be coming out of the north, keeping the cooler, drier conditions around. Not a whole lot of cloud cover as we get to mid-afternoon. Into the overnight hours is looking great as well. Wonderful start to Sunday morning as well. But we're going to see a little bit more cloud cover as we get to Sunday night, transitioning into Monday. And likely for your morning commute on Monday, going to have some isolated showers and thunderstorms passing through the west of I-95 and along the border belt as well. The beach is likely to stay dry for most of Monday. But inland's going to be dealing with shower and thunderstorm activity within the next couple of days or so. Here's a look at the muggy meter for this weekend. Looking great. Dew point's going to be in the lower 60s. Still going to be in that sticky threshold, but the PD is going to be teetering towards more comfortable air. Then we'll notice this increasing trend, which we don't want to see, but very typical for this time of year. By Monday, dew points back to the mid 60s. That's in that uncomfortable threshold, and going to be even worse on Tuesday as dew points are back into the lower 70s, bringing that oppressive humidity back once again. Your marine forecast, the winds will be out of the northeast, 10 to 15 miles an hour. Waves are average at 2 to 3 feet. Water temperatures 84 degrees. The UV index is high as we're expecting a lot of sunshine for today. It's a 9 and a low rip current risk is in effect. And looking out for the tropics, that wave that we were tracking in the Atlantic fizzled out as we expected it to do. And another area closer to home in the Gulf of Mexico has a very low chance for development, 10% over the next 2 days, and also keeping that low percentage over the next 5 days. Currently located in the Gulf of Mexico, only going to be a concern for southern Texas and northern Mexico, but it's looking likely this is just going to be a rain event. The probability based on a different model for this becoming a tropical depression is a little bit higher, teetering to 60 to 70%, but keep in mind, even if it becomes a tropical depression, it's still not going to be Danielle. This will only be called potential tropical cyclone 4. So the fourth named storm for this time usually comes around August 11th. So we're getting a little bit closer to being behind schedule, and you'll see, looking at the probability of this becoming a tropical storm, this graphic is completely blank. So not looking likely this is going to be Danielle. We've got the 7-day forecast coming up in just a sec.
All right, what I really want to focus on now is the weekend, because I think this is probably one of the best weekends we've had in a long time.
Yeah, we haven't seen dew points this low since June.
Okay.
So we have definitely needed this. It's just going to feel so much more refreshing outside, and I can't wait.
I know. It's a perfect beach day because, I mean, that's where I'm going today. So.
I don't blame you. We're getting out of here.
Yeah. Well, within like another hour, but
yeah,
soon enough. All right, Hannah, thank you. Warming ocean temperatures from climate change are causing the European green crab population on the East Coast to explode.
And now a New England distillery is harvesting the invasive species for a new kind of whiskey. Elise Preston has the story.
We start with a good sniff.
At Tamworth Distilling in Mercantile, Will Robinson is introducing visitors to his small batch handcrafted whiskey infused with flavors from the ocean.
And what am I tasting?
You get the whiskey and then you get the,
now
once you swallow it and you get it down, you get kind of some of the butteriness of the meat.
The meat comes from European green crabs, harvested along the New Hampshire coastline. The first batch of Robinson's Crab Trapper whiskey sold out shortly after hitting distillery shelves.
What has the response been like?
Insane.
The unusual whiskey crab pairing isn't just about flavor. Robinson is helping control the green crab population.
Their sheer numbers are kind of throwing things off, not leaving enough food for in one place in the ecosystem, and then just wreaking havoc in other ways.
The European green crab arrived on the East Coast about 200 years ago after hitchhiking on boats from overseas. Recent warming sea temperatures have caused the population to increase dramatically, and it's now one of the most invasive species in the U.S., threatening communities of oysters, clams, and mussels.
We don't get the really long, cold winters anymore, and so they can start mating and reproducing and doing all what they need to do earlier and longer.
Gabriella Bront with the New Hampshire Sea Grant says green crabs are tough to eat because they have a very hard shell and very little meat. She's working to find a way to identify when the green crab is about to shed its hard shell. A new soft shell means the whole crab can be eaten.
Get people a taste of a really good seafood product. We do a pretty good job eating down populations.
They're already on menus in New England and now in a whiskey.
It's an experience that brings about environmental awareness.
Awareness Robinson hopes will push others to deal with invasive species across the country. Elise Preston, CBS News, Tamworth, New Hampshire.
I don't know if I'm too sure about that one.
I like that they're doing the whole environmental awareness thing with an
Right.
invasive species, and I love seafood.
Crab's my favorite.
But how much does this actually taste like crab?
In whiskey, I don't know. Maybe because I'm not a big whiskey person. Maybe
I'm not
tequila.
either, so this is probably going to be a pass, but if this is going to be anywhere, I'm not surprised it's in New
New
England,
England.
so makes sense on that front.
Absolutely, whatever. I mean, people are getting too creative these days. So.
True, definitely.
All right, well, still ahead, we've got your Eye on Entertainment report.
Count on This Morning starts now.
Welcome back. Your high temperatures for today are going to be below average, all thanks to that cold front that passed through the area. The normal temperatures for the Grand Strand for this time of year is right around 87 degrees. We're going to be seeing widespread 85 for the coast. And throughout the PD, you should still be in the lower 90s for this time of year, but most of us going to be near 87 to even 89 degrees with your low temperatures for tonight following that same trend. Should be staying in the lower 70s, but could be seeing lower 60s. 62 forecasted for Laurinburg, 63 for Florence, Marion, 64 in Conway, and staying more mild at the coast near 68 degrees, but that's still below average. Diving into your 7-day forecast, looking great for the weekend. Lots of sunshine, below average temperatures, and you'll notice that these temperatures are actually sticking around for the foreseeable future, staying below average. A little bit more cloud cover by Monday. Going inland on Monday, right around 90 degrees, still slightly below average, but cooling to the mid to upper 80s for the next couple of days. And you'll also notice scattered showers and thunderstorms will be returning by midweek.
All right.
Welcome back at 7:15. You're taking a live look out over Georgetown. We do have the mix of clouds, a couple lower level cumulus clouds and up through the atmosphere. Do have those upper level cirrus clouds, but still a beautiful morning, a little bit cooler if you've already stepped outside. But the good news is we have been dry for the last 3 hours, looking that on your Viper 13 real-time radar, and dry conditions are expected to stay around for the entirety of the weekend. Checking out your temperatures right now, nobody in the 70s just yet, but pretty close here in Myrtle Beach, still reading 69 degrees. Elsewhere throughout the PD, temperatures are ranging anywhere from 66 to 68 degrees. Actually still pretty cool here in Marion and King Street in Manning. So reading 64 degrees. Comparing this to 7 o'clock yesterday morning, a pretty noticeable change, on average 3 to 5 degrees cooler. But the big difference here is going to be your dew points. Dew points are not in the 70s, so it is going to feel cooler outside. Even though temperature-wise, 3 degrees isn't a huge noticeable change, but those dew points anywhere in the lower 60s to mid 60s. Much more refreshing air, a little bit more comfortable, and we haven't seen this kind of air since June. That was the last time we had this cooler weather around. But going into your headlines for today, a lot of sunshine, of course, having that less humidity, lower dew points, a absolutely gorgeous weekend where temperatures are slightly below normal. And this is going to be a trend that we'll see for several days to come, well into your 7-day forecast. We've got that coming up in just a bit. But let's go ahead and dive into the futurecast. By noon, still have the winds coming out of the north, indicating the cooler, drier air being advected as high pressure is in the north. Not a whole lot of cloud cover and definitely not seeing any rain. A couple of showers and thunderstorms staying offshore. A little bit more cloud cover as we go into the overnight hours. Not so much for the southern part of our viewing area, but a lot of cloud cover for the northern part into the overnight hours. And now transitioning into Sunday. Much better look now as we start for the morning time. Still got the winds coming out of the north. Not a whole lot of cloud cover, but as we go into the overnight hours, transitioning into Monday morning, looks like we're going to have a couple rounds of showers moving through the west of I-95 to start your morning commute. So just be mindful of that. Might be driving through some pesky showers here and there. But taking a look now at your muggy meter, looking great for the next couple of days as dew points are going to be in the lower 60s. But then we're going to see this gradual increasing trend Monday. Dew points back into that uncomfortable threshold. And even worse on Tuesday, where oppressive humidity is going to be returning. Your high temperatures for today are going to be below average, especially throughout the PD. Should be around 91 degrees, ranging anywhere from 87 to 89. 87 also for Conway and Whiteville, where the coast is also below normal by about 2 to 3 degrees or so. The beach is going to be seeing 85 degrees and lots of sunshine. Your UV index is going to be very high. It is a 9. And if you're heading to the beach, not looking too bad. Low rip current risk. Winds coming out of the northeast, 10 to 15 miles an hour. You will have high tide at 6 o'clock and the water temperature is nice and mild at 84 degrees. Don't go anywhere. I've got your 7-day forecast coming up. Good morning and thanks for tuning in. A beautiful start to the day. That cold front moved through South Carolina yesterday. Look at all of the rain-free, drier, cooler air behind this front, setting up for an absolutely gorgeous day. Here's a live look out over Garden City, and temperature-wise still going to be in the mid-60s for Georgetown, 69 in Myrtle Beach. Much cooler start, well below average temperatures, and that's actually going to be the trend through the weekend and into the work week as well. It's a great morning to be walking your dog by 9 a.m. Both the PD and the beaches are going to be sitting comfortably at 72 degrees.